Good morning, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 11:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, September 3rd, 2021. It's not financial advice. This is educational only. Click the subscribe and the bell if you want to be notified of these videos. Click the thumbs up if you want to get Harvest Financial, which is ticker Farm, and Origin Protocol, which is OGN. Click that so that we can get more visibilities on these two cryptos. They seem to be down on the list on Coinbase, but Coin Market Cap. Twitter.com link below if you want intraday updates on some of the other cryptos I cover. Let's move straight into the markets. Let's look at Farm USD first, which is Harvest Finance. I think they're basically a DeFi application. People can come in, connect your wallet, your ERC20 token wallets, go ahead and deposit whatever Ethereum type token you have, and basically harvest percentage rewards. So they range anywhere from like 5%. I've seen 200% on their website. Anyway, I'm not here to talk too much about what they do. I'm here to kind of talk about the charts and the technical analysis and where I think it might be going. Again, none of this stuff is certain. A lot of this is very risky business. Now, Farm has only been out, or Harvest Finance has only been out since back here. It only got released to the wild. Typically IPOs, they go up for a few months and then they start settling down, and they figure out where's my starting point again. So they don't really start this early in the stage. So I have a feeling at some point it may start to head back down again. But right now it looks like we are about to hit this line a third time over the past month and change actually. So this thing came out back in late July. We're just about a month later and change into early September. So we hit a support here, we hit support here, we hit support a couple of times over here. So we're keeping a close eye on this. We have to kind of get into some of the underlying pairs. Again, this is too early stage here for me to really feel comfortable about anything. I usually like to track cryptos after at least 6 months out. Now, looking at the Farm relative to Bitcoin pair, clearly looking like we have some support here, then resistance. Now we're looking at support again. This is right on the line. So this is truth or dare. This is like, chicken right now. So playing a game of chicken, who's going to win? I don't really know. It's 50-50 again because of the very recent release of this coin. Now looking at the chart here, it's at 48.87. Could be in for a bounce, could be in for something bigger than that. On the wrong side of the trade. So keep your eye on this chart for sure. I'll tweet it out just as we come to grips with where this is actually going to end up as well. If it does make a bounce, then we can expect something by another week or two from now for something to change either direction, either up or down. This looks like an ascending triangle, but it's started out at the very beginning of when it got released, so it's hard to say. Now, if you notice the spikes that it has, it goes straight up and then it kind of takes its time on the way down. It goes straight up, takes its time on the way down, goes straight up, takes its time on the way down, goes straight up, takes its time on the way down, goes straight up. There's a mini one there and takes its time to go down. Now, we got to keep our eye over here. This is going to be a very important tell in terms of where we might be going. Just so everyone has a clear picture on Harvest Finance, which is Farm. Current market cap is around $155 million. Fully diluted basis is only $18 million away from that, so it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty much where it's at. So I don't anticipate there's hardly any dilution effect, in my opinion. On Origin, now this is kind of like a not exactly DeFi, but more like takes out the middle person to do peer-to-peer transactions. If you have a piece of NFT and you want to sell it to someone, you could do it on the cheap through using this Harvest protocol, through the Origin protocol. Origin's ticker is OGN, like I just mentioned. Now, looking at the Origin US dollar pair, this looks pretty. Looks like we have a pretty decent amount of chart action to cover, meaning the chart history here goes back from January of 2020. So it's over a year and a half old, maybe a year and 9 months old. So we've got some good history on it to really have, feel comfortable about it. Now, while this looks like it could be in a channel, which would be kind of hard to draw because it's not really, we don't have enough here to go on in terms of the amount of hits to that top line. but it does at least follow the bottom line. So we're going to get rid of that top part of the channel and look at the bottom end here. We're definitely showing a decent area of support. If it does go breaking this chart, it could go down to as far as 65 cents, which is halfway down. I don't think it'll happen like that. It'll probably hit 95 cents first if it does break. But again, we're above this line, so make no mistake about it. It's in a bullish trend. Hard to say. Now, if you look at the, what this guy's saying over here, they're saying strong buy. Now, I generally don't really look at that as a firm enough indicator for me to feel comfortable on an investment. So I'd have to look at the underlying Bitcoin relative pair. And it looks like we're also on a trend up. Looks like we had a little bit of turbulence in the early part of August, but a couple of bars down and back up means like a fake out. So there was fake out. We're back on this line. The line's starting to point up. The line has always been pointing up since the early part in January of 2021. So we're good there. We have a resistance line over here, which we seem to have broken out of it. So that's very, very bullish for Origin. Now, a couple of other things, just so everyone knows, though. The concern I have with Origin is the impending dilution, right? We have almost $500,000 of market cap and 1.2 million, 1.3 million of fully diluted. So this is a near triple between what's currently outstanding and what can come outstanding. And this takes, you have to read a lot on the prospectus, but this is ultimately meaning that if they dump the rest today, they could move this thing down to a third of the price. So you have to be careful on this too. The technology is interesting. It's more of a technology related to peer-to-peer transactions. It's not quite the infrastructure play that I cover in the Web 3.0 world, but nonetheless, it looks pretty compelling. I recommend taking a look at it. But in the meantime, looking at Bitcoin though, which also plays kind of a role, certainly very, very bullish today. It hit 51,000. There's a long line for you newcomers. Just so you know, Bitcoin does drag around the rest of the world in terms of cryptos. And I have a year-end projection at 80,000 for Bitcoin. I've been talking about this for a really long time. It is the center of gravity on the price action over the past year. If you look at Bitcoin dominance, which is really a comparison of Bitcoin relative to all cryptos, including Bitcoin, Ether, and Ethereum, and all the other cryptos out there. So 41% of the entire crypto market is sitting in Bitcoin. The rest of it, or 58%, is sitting in altcoins, including Ethereum. So we had this pattern here. We noticed we bled out on the other side. Now we're on this channel here. It's still obeying the channel, which looks pretty interesting. Where this downward action actually is bullish for altcoin. It just means that Bitcoin is going down in terms of its dominance in the market, and altcoins getting a better rally than Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin's rallying, it just means altcoin's going to rally that much more in percentage terms. Now, looking back at Farm US Dollar, look, my prediction here is I wouldn't be putting any money yet. I'd probably just wait and see if it can get back over this line a little more harder, or it's not a place I feel too comfortable, just given the small length of time that it's got. It has a sell indicator on this site. Doesn't mean much to me, honestly, but I think what means more to me is the fact that it doesn't have enough chart action, chart history. So it's a DeFi play, 100% DeFi. And now let's